Tum, 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 tum. Hello, how you doing? My name is Philip, and I am exploring new ideas. So this is my first live stream. I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're just gonna start it off. I'm a Christian. I want to explore. I want to explore new ideas. I want to explore atheists today and why atheists converted, and um, and who they were before they converted. So the before and after of what atheists were thinking, and I think that'd be kind of cool. Instead of the old saying "know your enemy," let's these are just friends we haven't met yet, and we're just a little ignorant to it. So I already got a tap going. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll see how that goes. Now let me know how the audio is. Like I said, my name is Philip, and welcome to my show. It's like a podcast. It is open panel. And I guess I could drop the link in the chat. Copy. Boom, 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 boom. Do. Paste. So anybody's invited to share their ideas. I would love for that to happen. Do. I'm in no big hurry, so if things are slow for you, I understand. Be patient with me. I have the YouTube tab going. There it is. Let me repin that. Let's see if that goes up. And I can pin the link. So let's check out this one right here. I figured a good way to do it is just YouTube Shorts. Can I? Is that starred? I don't know what the star does. Can I pin the link from what's it called? I probably can do it from my phone. Yeah, let me see. I'm learning how to do this, so be patient, please. Do. Okay, so let me see. Pin, bam. So I can do that from my phone. I can see YouTube from my phone. Perfect. Awesome. Do. All right, so let me go to the YouTube tab and we'll check this out. I think it's kind of interesting. Atheism. All right, let's go check out the next one. I don't know about that one. I'm not a big fan of that one. It's just kind of like, yeah, yeah, I'm not like that one. If you guys don't know, this is Alex O'Connor. He's a really cool guy. I recommend checking out his channel if you're atheist or anybody just interested in new ideas. Alex really shares a really cool opinion. And this is Trent. I've seen his YouTube channel. He's good at debating. I don't know about that one. No, that's where I see. I'm in the same page, bro. Yep. Yeah, yeah. So I appreciate this one. It's the mindset. So yeah, win for that one. It's the mindset. Hmm. Yep, that's exactly where I started, brother. Is that a valid question? I don't know. That's what I would say. Yeah, it didn't come. Yeah, yeah. Start over. There's some pretty famous ones that here we'll just make it easy. Some really cool stories. Yeah, that makes it easy. We'll see. This AI is getting crazy. Yeah, that's a tough one. The Bible's, really puts things to the extreme when it says all. I don't know about that one. Hey, welcome. Austin Murphy, how you doing? What happened to my old channel? It's still there. My old gaming channel, Team Philip is still there. If you wanted to check it out, I can drop the link. But it's a gaming channel, so I don't want to, push this kind of stuff onto gamers. Putting this kind of stuff onto gamers isn't cool. So I thought of starting a new channel would be the right thing to do. And how you doing, Austin? I appreciate you stopping by. That's really cool, brother. How you doing? The link is pinned. If you wanted to join, you're more than welcome to. I'll just check the studio real quick. Yeah, no one's back there, so we're cool. Yeah, everything's cool. I appreciate it. Um, I wonder if no, it doesn't work the same. Yeah, how you doing? How's your night going? I saw you at Jack Talcott's, and that was a good experience, man. I see you support Talcott. That's really cool, man. With all the stuff he goes through, and you're one of the positive people in there. I see he appreciates that too. So rock and roll, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Do. Any ideas on that? Are you Christian? Are you atheist? Are you in the middle? What's your thoughts? I want to know. And thank you for stopping by. Do. This is where history helped me convert to Christianity. That there is history that says other than Jesus, the other people existed. Yeah, this guy's good. I recommend checking out. Is it Charlie Kirk? Let's check out what Austin wrote here. Pretty good. Just hanging out, scrolling through it. Let me use StreamYards the proper way, bro. Like this is like my really first time using StreamYards. So let's highlight this like a all right, pretty good. Just hanging out, scrolling through the YouTube streets. I believe we are created by a creator, but then the question always becomes who or what created the creator. I have many thoughts. I appreciate you sharing your ideas. Is there anything that highlights you? Like you're like, dude, Buddha's legit. Is there anything that really highlights you? Because Buddha's, it's pretty awesome. But I appreciate you sharing your time and your thoughts. That was good. Yeah, I believe the same thing. My conclusion was Jesus, Jesus. So I appreciate you saying that, Austin. Thank you. Maybe you have any ideas about videos we should watch. Let me know. See, I don't even know what screen to go through. I have so many tabs open. All right, this one. Yeah, I see a lot of dedication to this religion and not a lot of reward, which is a sad way of looking at it. You shouldn't be looking for the reward. Well, they do say the Old Testament. This is what I've heard recently. The Old Testament says that unaliving people was asked God asked people to unalive people, and the New Testament has fixed that. So I don't know, but it's interesting what this guy's saying. I appreciate him sharing. And then Austin over here. Thank you, Austin, for participating tonight. I appreciate that. That's legit. Just be patient with me. StreamYards. Which one is StreamYards? This one is StreamYards. All right. Every religion seems to be based on what geographical location you were born in. Depending on where you were born depends on the name you were given the creator, it seems. That's very logical. That's very smart. Good job, dude. High five on that one. Can I star that one? Yeah, I star. Yeah, yeah, star. I like that because I heard a story about a was that one of those tribal people that just no that just hasn't been found yet. One of the last found tribal people, island tribe people, and they had no religion. They didn't. They had not no knowledge of God, and they were cannibals. Just to show you, when you have no knowledge of God, you can do some wild things, or you don't have a religion based on. I don't know what the base of Christianity is right now besides love. You know what I mean? And base and good. So, but yeah, they were cannibals. That was pretty interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Austin. How was dinner, bro? I saw you were making dinner. What'd you make for dinner? I had ceviche, which is like a I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's Mexican sushi, bro. It's awesome. It's rad. With yeah, it's rad. Oh, what's your thoughts on um Islam? Yes. That was a good one, guys. That's what I'm here for. Shorts like that. Chicken and rice. I've been eating a lot of chicken and rice and working out more. Yeah, dude, keep it up. Keep that workout up, dude. Chicken and rice is good. I like adding beef as another protein source and fish. But yes, I try to avoid the rices. Like I really try to stick to the protein source and try reducing the fillers. But dude, chicken and rice is good. Good job, Austin. Dude, keep it up. What are you working out on? What are your workout goals? I don't know enough about Islam. Let me go back to I'm using my phone right now to read your chats, but I can go back to StreamYards and highlight these suckers. All right. I've been eating a lot of chicken and rice and working out more. Yeah, me too. I got arms and abs. Yes, I feel the same way, and I feel bad that I'm so ignorant to Islam. I wish someone could come in from the outside world and share their ideas about Islam. If anything, one channel, one show will be about Islam. I think that would be a great show. I think the next one will be about Islam. So there's the next show idea, guys. We're gonna research Islam. Today is atheism, or just people who convert to Christianity, I guess. I appreciate it. That's a humble comment there, Austin. You get another star. Bam. I don't know what the stars do, but you got another star. To do to do. All right. Good old Alex. He hasn't converted, so I don't think this would be anything for us. Let's focus, hyper focus. It gets kind of weird once you start searching. This is it might be a good one. How long is this? 10-minute video? Let's see if I can get away with this before getting wrecked. So I've never watched a whole video on YouTube, so I might get canceled right here. We'll see. And this is Taylor. Check out Taylor's channel. Taylor Alicia. Check out that channel if you're interested in this video. If you want me to drop the link, I will. But this might help us out instead of going through these YouTube shorts. Nice, nice, nice editing there. So yeah, C.S. Lewis. I heard about this guy. I've heard about that. I've heard about people whose significant other, their wives, have converted to religion, and then their husbands did. That's interesting. Yeah, Austin, do you know any atheists or anybody who have converted to Christianity that you're interested about look for me to looking up? I like it. Okay. Okay. All right. Austin's gonna think about that. And then at minimum I curl 60 pounds and 200 times a day, dude. Are you serious? I'm weak sauce. I do 20 set reps. Just want to have some big biceps for the ladies, bro. You know what, bro? Go for it, bro. Let's go. I'm doing the same thing. I got 50 pounds to 75 pounds, so we'll see. It works. You're rad, dude. Thanks for being here, Austin. You're rad. Ooh, that cleaning lady might have to go. I'm here because you guys gonna be Christians. That's nuts. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. That's nuts. The videos you're playing don't have volume, by the way. Oh, dang. I wish you had. Thank you for sharing. Maybe I got to turn up the volume. Let me see. They don't have volume. So that volume is up. And I can stop sharing and reshare. So let me see. All right. You're right. There's no audio. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. All right. So let me see if I can fix this. Like I said, this is my first time using StreamYards and sharing. So do 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 do. All right. Because that was some good stories. All right. Let's go. Present. Share screen. Do. Famous atheist. This should be sharing audio. Boom. Oh, that looks way better. Yeah, that's much better.
Worst place ever. In fear, I came back to the Lord. I went to another church, and that pastor preached the love of Christ.
I'm working this. I'm working
Now you
this
put the
out,
two together,
Austin.
and it was
Thank
exactly
you.
like
Number 5 is Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron first rose to fame as a child actor on the hit sitcom Growing Pains.
Dad, I got up early and I made
All right.
Hi. After a video regarding atheists' last words before dying, I thought it'd be cool to do a follow-up video where we dive into some famous atheists who became Christians before they were on their deathbed.
All right.
So what
So
made
you
these
see.
atheists change their minds and choose
Yeah, there it
Christianity
is.
among all the other religions out there? How do you go from years old? He became an atheist.
Thank
He
you,
embraced
Austin. Thank you.
atheism and believed that faith was merely a
Thank
crutch
you. I
for the
appreciate that.
weak-minded. During his college years, he had a mission on his mind, and that was to disprove Christianity.
Yeah, I'm still
But
working. I
the
appreciate that. I
exact
really do.
opposite happened. Through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to
She
disprove
talks so slow.
Christianity.
Yeah, I'm still
But
working. I
the
appreciate that. I
exact
really do.
opposite happened. Through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to
She
disprove
talks so slow.
Christianity.
Yeah, I'm
But
still working. I
the
appreciate that.
exact
I really do.
opposite happened. Through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to
She
disprove
talks so slow.
Christianity.
Yeah, I'm
But
still working. I
the
appreciate that.
exact
I really do.
opposite happened. Through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to
She
disprove
talks so slow.
Christianity.
Yeah, I'm
But
still working. I
the
appreciate
exact
That's interesting.
opposite happened. Through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to disprove
It's working, but I got things all messed up, Austin. It's got like That's layers in interesting. there, bro.
through his pursuit, Lewis found himself, and that was to disprove
It's working, but I got things all messed up,
What is
Austin.
going
It's got
on?
like
That's
layers in
interesting.
there, bro. It's working, but I messed it up, bro. That's hilarious. It's working, but I got things all messed Before I get messed
Austin,
up,
it's
though, I
got
got
like
to hold on.
layers.
All right, so I'm sharing my screen. All right, so I think this one's going by itself. This is the one I want in there, bro. And that one's not working. There, bro. Either way,
That one's not.
this is fun trying to figure out StreamYards mid StreamYards. All right, either way, so I'm gonna stop sharing that. And StreamYards, that one, this one, new tab. All right, thank you for being here, Austin. So I have to start a new tab because I couldn't figure that one out. It got confusing for me. So what do you think about this? What do you think about atheists and stuff? Why won't it let me share this YouTube tab now? Hmm. Yeah, what I'm looking for is this famous atheist who convert, and now it won't even come up. All right, we'll try again. Present, share screen. Why won't it pick that tab other than maybe go move tab to new window? Window, this one. Okay. So weird, it won't let me select tab. For some reason, the tab in browser is not working today. Hmm. Let me figure this out real quick. It's kind of interesting is I could. No, that didn't work. I really have to do more research on StreamYards and figure out how to share this. There it is. To do. That's the first one I heard about was C.S. Lewis. That was the first one. I didn't know about Stephen Baldwin or Stephen Baldwin. All right. If you make me a moderator, I can share a video with you of an ex-Satanist that turned into yeah, dude, no problem. I appreciate you asking. I love giving people the wrench so they can promote their channel or promote new ideas. Let me just open up another tab. Go to YouTube. Mute. Let me just play the video while I make you a mod. How about that? So someone can listen while I do that. You gotta be a standard mod, okay? There you are. I appreciate you asking. Thank you. Sorry, I missed Baldwin's I'm not sharing it. How weird. Because I have to go like this there at this stage. I'm learning the hard way. All right, Austin's got a video. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go open up another tab for that one. This is so funny. I feel so rushed when I shouldn't be. All right. Um, open link, a new tab. Okay, we're gonna check this guy out. Austin suggested it. I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. Go over here. Present the new one. Appreciate this, Austin. I'm like I said, I'm in no rush, so for some reason I feel like I was. And then we'll go back to StreamYards. We'll present. Bam. There it is. Perfect. Bam.
Upside down here. I got
So, John Ramirez, Michael and the Satanist. And this channel right here, guys, is Michael Knowles. Oh, great. This guy's awesome. Michael Knowles is awesome, guys. Go check out Michael Knowles' channel. All right. There you go, Austin. And you can promote your channel if you want. Just drop your channel link. Thank you. This isn't be interesting because Michael Knowles is going to cancel me.
I came from a family of warlocks and witches. I got the cross upside down here. I got scars here. I have another symbol here that is the 21 rows to the dark side was carved into my flesh.
What? But he doesn't have a scar.
That the devil said carve that into him because he's going to be the gatekeeper of the demonic kingdom.
When you're buddies with the devil, what are the things that specifically that the devil's telling you?
Most replayed. Oh, there's no chapters.
Realities, things that you don't have, things that you want, things that you can't get. And one time the devil was sitting on the passenger seat. And he said, there's a guy on the rooftop, grab him and sacrifice him for me. I tried to drag him into my apartment. I was half demon possessed.
But there was this guy there.
I can tell this guy's been through some stuff, huh?
South American people, Brazil, all these people we cultivate. We are cultivated into that realm of the spirit of Santeria, spiritualism. Centros mean demon church.
Yeah.
Which you go and they sit the tables out there by dressing white. We go there, we worship, we pretend we Catholics.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
we adopt Catholic culture.
The aesthetic, yeah.
Right, into the religion we in, and people believe it because they think, hey, Catholics do this.
The backdrop just caught my eye, dude. It's so weird. This was all designed by Michael Knowles' set designers. What a weird backdrop.
That's not part of the Catholicism church.
Right.
You know, they don't worship the devil.
Yeah.
They worship God. They worship Jesus. So we get into this whole realm of this thing. Then you report. It's like going to Christian. You go to Christian church on Sunday. We'll go to demon church on Sundays. Or we'll go to demon church from 7 in the evening to 5 in the morning.
7 in the evening, 5 in the morning. Crazy.
Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Why at that time?
Because during that time, there's different atmospheres and
Hey, thanks, Austin, for suggesting this.
the different atmospheres and environment that happen in the spirit realm as the time goes further into the night. The hierarchies of the demonic world comes out, and you can make ceremonies and rituals and spells and contracts.
So I heard about that too. I heard the demonic world comes out between like, well, it's kind of weird, right? Because it's your time zone. That's kind of weird, but it's like, what is it, like 1:30 to like 3:30 in the morning? That's what I've heard.
Scars in my foot, I got scars in my leg, because it's a symbolic symbol of the cross, but upside down. So you give yourself to the demonic Palamayumbe, then one of the deities of there pick you to serve him. So the blood that sheds here, they put gunpowder, they put a candle on it to seal the contract.
So this guy was the full real deal, guys, and he converted.
So the demons can walk the earth like a human person. That was it. And I was disappointed because he disappeared. 2 weeks later, I have a dream. I didn't have a dream. I died in my apartment in 1999. I died in my apartment, ended up in hell. And then the devil showed up in hell, convincing me that don't leave him. And the cross of Jesus Christ, the what cross shows up in hell.
Okay.
And so the devil's talking to me, and I'm talking to him in demonic tongues and say, I don't know why I'm here. Why am I here? And I was hellbound on a train that was going so fast, faster than light. I mean, this thing was faster than the speed of sound. And it was full of people in the train. And then you couldn't see the faces of the people, but the terror on the train was so thick that people knew they were going somewhere, but they weren't coming back. And then Jezebel was on the train. And then Jezebel was dressed in a business suit, very elegant woman. She was saying, you traitor. But in if I pass away, my wife,
What about my kids?
my kids, how they're going to feel? You don't feel that once you leave your body as a believer. You feel peace, you feel joy, you feel like tranquility over you. So I'm leaving, and I see my body there. And all I said was, I said, Lord, I'm disappointed you're taking me home early. If you would have left me, I would have done so much more for put me back in my body.
All right, so we got something going on right here. We found it.
And to me, God opened the door for me. And
Yes, we found it. And an hour, yeah, dude. We found that. We found what we needed in this whole thing.
they'll
That's
never
awesome.
make heaven.
You asked in prayer.
Yeah, ask in prayer.
So 41:52, maybe.
Between me and him, he touched the cross again. He falls to the ground. Now suddenly I go back into my body like a lightning bolt. And then I feel like I'm in, when people in ICU and they pass away, they do those electrical things on your chest. That's what I felt. Like there was electrical paddles in my chest. I come back to life and I become a born-again Christian.
How do you know that you weren't just having a dream?
No, that wasn't a dream. That was not
You
a
just
dream.
know.
That was a dream. I would have woke up and I would have had dead in heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, dead in Parkchester. I was in Parkchester by Macy's.
Yeah.
So I was by Macy's. So I'm my body's laying there dead. My spirit is in hell. He went to grab me. The cross of Calvary shows up between me and him. That means intercession. He touched.
So here it is, right here. Yeah, 41. Yeah, good
It's
numbers.
a cross. He falls on the paper. He falls on the ground like a piece of paper. And I take off again. The second time he shows up, I'm still dead in my apartment. He shows up again. The horns and the wings comes out. And you can see stains on his garment because he fell from grace. Yeah. So you see stains on his garment. He said, I'm going to.
You know, it makes me wonder when he says that the horns and wings came out. Like, where did the idea that the devil has horns and wings? That makes me kind of curious. I want to explore that one day.
Kill you because you give me no choice. When he went to grab me again, the cross came out again. I never read about the cross. I never read the Bible. I don't know I don't even know what the Bible meant. What cross? What? There's one thing between me and him. God is interceding for my spirit, for my life. Between me and him, he trusts the cross again. He falls to the ground. Now suddenly I go back into my body like a lightning bolt, and then I feel like I'm in. When people in ICU and they pass away, they do those electrical things on your chest. That's what I felt like. There was electrical powers in my chest. I come back to life, and I become a born again Christian.
How do you know?
That's nuts. I don't know much about the Bible, and I'm Christian. That's kind of interesting. I can relate with that.
That you weren't just having a dream?
No, that wasn't a dream. That was not.
You
a
just
dream.
know. You just
That was a dream. I would have woke up and I would have had a yoo-hoo and kept going.
Facts. The guy's being honest, right? Like, if that was a dream, he would just woke up and had a yoo-hoo.
That was not a dream.
Is that a commercial for you?
That was an ultimatum. God is saying to me, the Lord Jesus Christ is saying to me, I'm giving you one chance to turn. You follow me, oh, this will be your destiny. And the people that were in hell that I saw in hell, my two family members, they're alive today. And I asked the Lord, and the Lord said they'll never make heaven.
Damn. That's rough.
You asked in prayer.
Yeah, I asked in prayer. And the Lord said they'll never make heaven. And my aunt that passed away 2 years ago, my aunt that passed at 80 years old from lung cancer, she was the highest ranked witch in Miami, all Florida, and all around the 50 states. She was one of the most high ranked witches in the planet. And my cousin went to speak to her about Christ, and she said, respect my religion, I respect yours. And she died without salvation.
Wow. Yeah, some people die without salvation, brother. Like, I couldn't imagine. All you can do is sigh. That's all you can do. People die without salvation.
That's very difficult.
I appreciate you sharing this
It's hard,
video. It's rad.
But you have
Michael
to
Knowles, don't
understand.
cancel me.
See, it's hard for me because I love my aunt, regardless of who she was. But I also have to understand that Christ opened the window for her like he did for me. And she said no. He opened the door. Let me say that.
Yeah.
And she said, no, close the door. I don't want to go that way. And to me,
I've heard a lot of people describe it that way, as a door opening. And you can never go wrong with a door, opening doors, creating more opportunity for yourself.
God opened the door for me in 1999. And I said yes to the open door. And then in March 2019, 11, I died in my apartment again. I died as a Christian. And I was leaving my body and the sky was opening up.
The story goes on to another one. This guy's no joke.
And I was seeing the light. And when you leave your body, it feels like a magnet pulling you. You can't go anywhere. You can't turn. You can't put yourself.
That's gnarly. This guy's about to describe death to us, bro.
You have no control. I'm leaving. And as I'm leaving, and when you leave your body, this time around, I'm a Christian. I'm leaving my body. And the awesome thing about it, you don't feel sad.
Yeah.
You don't feel like my mom's going to miss me. My daughter's going to be heartbroken. You don't feel that like when you're in your body. If you're in your body and you start thinking about, if I pass away, my wife,
What about my kids?
my kids, how they're going to feel. You don't feel that once you leave your body as a believer.
Yeah. Totally agree with that one.
You feel peace. You feel joy. You feel like tranquility over you. So I'm leaving and I see my body there. And all I said was, I tell you, all I said, Lord, I'm disappointed you're taking me home early. If you would have left me, I would have done so much more for put me back in my body. And it was amazing because when I got back into my body, I felt like I went to the cleaners and someone starched my stuff too much. It felt like, and it felt like my hands.
It's so crazy the guy can laugh about, going back into his body like that. He can make a joke. He died and came back to life. He's joking, dude. That's a Christian for you.
Opening up again, and I felt the circulation moving again, mechanical, and I felt like the bloodstream running again. My fingers going back to the natural way, because my fingers were like rigor mortis, yeah, like that. And I felt everything was coming back, and I just came back to life. Never know why that happened.
No.
And after that, I wrote like 9 books.
During
That's like 2 miracles right there, right? And people say they don't believe in miracles. This guy, he's saying I live a miracle, and I can't deny his ideas. Just like I can't deny atheist ideas, and I can't deny anybody else's ideas. I don't have to accept them, but I can't deny them. So
that could make good on the promise. During these 2 experiences, you're married. So
Yeah.
where was your
Well, I
wife?
wasn't married then. Me and my wife broke up, I was 27 years old.
Oh,
I was 27. We broke up. I was still in witchcraft. I left witchcraft at the age of 35. Then she came with the whole police department to bring sign the divorce paper in the street because she knows a warlock and she knows going to put witchcraft on her and a new husband.
that's so nuts that if this guy's telling the truth, then I have to believe the ideas that there's warlocks and witches at a grand level out there, bro. Like this opened my eyes to a different world out there, and different ideas to explore, and maybe potentially another show, Austin. So shout out to Austin Murphy, guys. Like he threw this idea out there, threw this link in the chat, and it's killer. It's 10 out of 10, guys.
And she came like the whole police, 43rd Soundview Avenue, the 43rd police station, all came, signed the paper, surrounded me. I said, yeah, I signed. I'm not paying for the divorce. He is. He's a sucker paying for the divorce, right? So I signed the papers, gave it to her. And then when I got saved in 35 years old, I became a born again. And then years later, I was like so guilty. I tell you, I was so guilty. I said, Lord, I led her to witchcraft. She needs to get saved. I need to get that off my conscience.
Yeah.
So another person saved. That's awesome. So he was able to witness another person saved, and at 35, awesome. You have so much life left, dude.
One day she calls me up and she tells me, I bought a new house. You want to see where it's at? So, when you go pick up, my daughter was like 11 years old at the time. My daughter's 35 now. So my daughter's like 11, 12 years old. She said, you can pick up the daughter on weekends and, you know where the house is. I said, yeah, sure. So I picked up in front of the house and we drove to the house. She was showing me the way. And we sat in the car and I said to her, I said, Madeline, that was her name, Madeline, you in witchcraft and there's no,
It's kind of prattling on right now.
no one says goodbye, no one dies. No one cries.
Yeah.
You get free rent in heaven.
Yeah. And then Calvary.
And you go to Calvary and you see the suffering of a man.
Well, I think we got this guy's story. He got a second chance and he appreciates it. That's what converted him. He died and in his subconscious, I guess, or in his soul talked to God and gave him a second chance, and that's what converted him. I appreciate you sharing our story there. John Ramirez, dude. Shout out to you, brother. Welcome. This one's kind of interesting. It's kind of off topic, but dude, I don't know if you guys know this, but bald eagles have a second life. Let me see if I can find the life. I don't know. I could be wrong on how to describe it. The rebirth of a bald eagle. You guys ever heard of this story? This is rad. I'm gonna get canceled. Nat Geo's gonna cancel me for this one for sure. Let's go, Nat Geo. Are you gonna cancel me? By the way, guys, this is 1 Minute Explorer. Check out the channel. It's got a good little video about the rebirth of the inspiring story eagle thingy. Yeah, it's awesome.
This is a story of an eagle.
Hold on, you're a little slow for me, bro.
An eagle has the longest lifespan of its species.
That was a cool fact.
It can live up to 70 years. But to reach this age, however, the eagle must make some tough decisions. In its 40th year, its long, flexible talons can
Damn, see? I was thinking with 35. I wonder how much like an eagle lifespan is compared to a human, like how dogs average, the 1 to 7 kind of thing. Oh, I spelt it wrong. Is that what it was? I spelt it wrong?
no longer grab prey, which serve as food. its long, sharp beak begins to bend. Its old, aged, and heavy wings, due to their thick feathers, stick to their chest and make it difficult to fly. Then the eagle is left with only two options: die or go through the painful process of change. The process requires that the eagle fly to the mountaintop and sit on its nest. There, it knocks its beak against a rock until it plucks it out.
Yeah, this is nuts, bro.
Then the eagle will wait for a new beak to grow before it plucks out the talons. When the new talons grow back, the eagle starts plucking its thick, heavy feathers. And after this, the eagle takes its famous flight of free birth and lives for another 30 years. Why is the change needed? To survive and live. We too have to start.
That's rad. Yep, the Eagles. But you see now, this is one of the other stories that kind of caught my eye about an atheist that was like, dude, I can't explain it. But I can only spell. You can see my typing skills are horrible. Maybe I can find it this way. Oh, here it is. Greatest lawyer believes in Jesus. Yes.
This is wild. One of the greatest lawyers in history, after studying the history of Jesus, the Bible, and all these different things, determined that Jesus really did rise from the dead. Watch this.
As the most successful defense attorney who ever lived, Sir Lionel Luckhoo.
This story is rad. When defense attorneys do their job and they're like, dude, I can't argue it. You gotta give them credit then. It's a great idea.
Get this, you'll appreciate this. He won 247 murder trials in a row as a defense attorney, either before the jury or on appeal.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody's ever done. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records, greatest lawyer ever lived. He was a skeptic like I was about the resurrection. He thought, Jesus didn't return from the dead and prove. He says, give me a break.
Yep, I was in the same book. Saying I can relate right here.
And then someone challenged him. Sir Lionel, you're the greatest lawyer. Have you ever taken your monumental legal skill and applied it to the historical record and come to an informed conclusion about whether or not Jesus did return from the dead? He said, no, I haven't, but I will. So he set out, he did what I did. He spent years investigating the evidence. And I'll recite to you one sentence he wrote that summarized his conclusion. He says, I say unequivocally that the evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ is so overwhelming that it compels acceptance by proof, which leaves absolutely no room for doubt.
Amen.
So like people may be like, hey dude, you can't just let people do the work for you. It's like, why not? The guy had 247 cases and won. I think if he did the work for me, why not? It's fucking rad.
Ever heard someone say there's no hard evidence for Christianity? Well, they're right, because there's no hard evidence for anything. Hard evidence is not a category. There's only two categories of evidence in all the criminal trials I've done over the years: direct evidence and indirect evidence, also known as circumstantial evidence.
This is a good one, I can tell.
And direct evidence is simply eyewitness testimony. Indirect evidence is everything else, including DNA and fingerprints. It turns out that judges tell juries that those two forms of evidence have the exact same value. None should be
And doesn't the resurrection have both? Damn.
Considered as greater in weight. Well, it turns out Jesus also used both forms of evidence. He said, if you don't believe the words I'm telling you, at least believe on the evidence of these miracles. He's pointing to indirect evidence. And then he selects John the Baptist, and he says, John's a witness of who I am. And then he selects a bunch of other disciples who are going to testify to the resurrection. That, my friends, is direct evidence. Jesus uses both. So yeah.
That's what I mean when lawyers start doing this and historians start doing it, bro. They start converting. They're like, damn, the evidence is just overwhelming. And I just let these people do the research for me. It's freaking awesome. I enjoy this. This is like educational for me. What do you think? Do you enjoy this? Let me know. Oh, there's a good one.
Listen to this cool testimony from this ex-Satanist.
So I reached out to one of my friends who I'd graduated high school with, who was a pastor, and asked if he would like to do my mom's memorial because they knew each other from the theater. After her service, I remember going to him and being like, hey, can we sit down? Can you answer some questions for me? We sat down at a park and he answered all of these questions. And at the very end, he recommended a book. I went on Amazon to go get that book, and it was like $40. And as a Satanist, I was not going to spend $40 on a book that I'd never read. Fast forward a couple weeks later, and it's my first day on the job as a field installer for like a tech company. We had a fleet of
Prattle, get to the point.
10 to 15 vehicles ish. I get in this van and I go to buckle my seatbelt and I just freeze. So
Oh shit, the book fucking followed her.
I look over at the guy that was training me and I'm like, not to be a weird dude on my first day, but is this yours? And he just kind of looks at it and he kind of laughs a little and he's like, nah, some client there left us for, another person and it's just been in here ever since. Like, you.
Hey, Austin, thanks for sharing your thoughts. All right, this is a clip from a movie, but it's based on a real life kid. I looked into this a long time ago. It's a quick video. I think you'll like it. All right, let's see if I don't get canceled, okay? I'm gonna go check this out. All right, looks pretty okay. I don't have any ads popping up, so I'm gonna stop sharing this one screen. Give me a second, brother. I appreciate what you're doing for me today, Austin. Thank you. All right, StreamYards, present. All right. Did you know I have a sister? I seen this, bro. Holy crap, I don't remember it. I've seen this. It's pretty cool. I appreciate you sharing it. All right, if you haven't seen this, it's pretty cool. It's interesting. It's interesting. All right, let's go. Oh, am I sharing it? That's a good point. Oop. All right, we'll start over. It's a good thing I have a backup watching here. All right.
Mommy,
Yes, Colton.
did you know I have a sister?
Yes, Colton. Of course I know you have a sister.
I didn't know.
You didn't know that Cassie's your sister?
No, I have two sisters.
Yeah, this trips out his mom right here. You'd be like, dude, is my kid possessed when he says I have two sisters like that?
You had a baby die in your tummy, didn't you?
Honey, who told you I had a baby die in my tummy?
Bro, I hope I don't get canceled for playing a movie clip.
She told me she died in your tummy.
But God will and hope this works.
What does she look like?
Like Cassie, but a little smaller and hair like yours. In heaven, this little girl came up to me and she wouldn't stop hugging me.
Good actor right here. Yellowstone actor, right?
Honey, what was her name?
She didn't have a name. You guys didn't name her.
This guy's a good actor. He hasn't been in movies lately, though.
You're right. We didn't know that she was a she.
Are you okay, Mommy?
Yeah. We lost a baby, sweetheart. Just a few months before she was.
I'm kind of. What's the relation? What's the relation to the topic? It's a good clip. It's kind of freaky.
That's our baby. That's our little girl.
She's okay.
Well, stream's still up. The kid, I guess, went to heaven, and he saw one of his family members that was never born. And the family member that was never born, went to heaven too. Huh, interesting. Thank you for sharing. Famous atheist last words. That'd be whoo. Woo, that's gonna be deadly, bro. All right, final thing. Yeah. This will be a good one.
Karl Marx, the German philosopher and historian, died of bronchitis, a lung infection disease at the age of 64 in the year 1883. Marx said this to his housekeeper, who wondered with what style the thinker was going to depart from this world. Go on, get out. Last words are for fools who haven't said enough. Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher and cultural critic. On 3rd January 1889, it is said that he suffered a mental breakdown after witnessing the flogging of a horse in public. He ran to embrace the horse sobbing and collapsed to the ground. His neighbor brought him home. He lies motionless and silent for 2 days on a sofa until he declares his last words, "Mother, I am stupid," and leaves for another 10 years.
What?
Silent and insane, cared for by his mother and sisters. He died in the afternoon hours of August 1900 after experiencing pneumonia and multiple strokes. Karl Marx.
I was not expecting that. All right, we'll see. All right, we'll go with this one. Oh, we'll start here.
Heil Satan.
How many members are part of your church?
In South Africa at the moment, there's just over 12,000 Satanists. And then suddenly, yeah, it was there, like in front of my face.
What? See, they have a before and after, like it's no big deal.
Who was there?
Jesus. And because I've never believed in Christ up to that point. And being extremely scientifically minded and an atheist and all of those things, I said, no, like this is either a demon playing a trick with me or I am hallucinating. I said to him, I'm scared. And he flooded me with love.
That's crazy, bro.
With so much love. And I said to him,
sometimes that's all an atheist needs is love.
But I don't believe it. I can't believe this because I've looked for this my whole life. I said, well, no, you've never opened yourself up for it.
I'll give a like on that one, guys.
Anton LaVey, the scary-looking guy, the founder of the Church of Satan, had some final words. You won't believe this.
He was on his deathbed, and for a Satanist at the time of death, it's a great victory for them because death is a huge thing that they celebrate. And he was getting ready to die and pass on his powers and that. And on his deathbed, he must have got some revelation or an angelic appearance or something.
I've heard this a lot. I don't want to be one of. I didn't want to be one of these guys waiting till the last minute to enjoy Jesus.
And he went into shock and he said, "Oh my, oh my, what have I done?" He said, "There's something very wrong. There's something very wrong. There's something very wrong." Wow. And his whole life had been spent organizations for Satanism. And then at the end of his life, he gets this light that comes to him, and everything that he'd built, he realized was wrong.
The Bible's.
Yeah, I heard about this story. This is a good one.
This kid laughs at the preacher, and then this happens.
Let's talk about how many people atheists have killed. Atheism killed? Yep. Holy sh**. You're the most uninformed mother seen on the planet, and a demagogue. Really? Yeah. Was Mao Zedong an atheist? Yes. Mao Zedong was the leader of the people. How many people did Mao Zedong, as an atheist, murder? Good. How?
I've never even heard of that name. Mount St. Tongue?
How many people did Joseph Stalin, another atheist, murder?
That name.
Okay, let's talk about how atheism opens you up to slaughtering people. It's the same answer to the question I asked you that you haven't answered. Why is a human being valuable? We're valuable because God created us.
God made us in his image. The Bible says imago Dei. If you believe that, type imago Dei in the comments and like and subscribe.
Yep. God made us his image.
Quick question for you. If you're an atheist, why do you not believe in God? And if you don't believe in God because you say the book is written by man, why do you believe in evolution? Because that was also made up by a guy.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a hardcore hit, bro. Oh, could it be possible that evolution's a scam too? That's a good one. That's not bad. Good question.
I think.
Gotta
Quick
give
question
a
for
thumbs
you.
up.
If you're
Yeah,
But
that's a
if
good
we
question.
say miracles are really extraordinary things, because if they happened all the time, they wouldn't be miracles, then I choose to believe, and I choose with.
I'm sorry, sister. I gotta start this over. I missed the very beginning.
But if we say miracles are really extraordinary things, because if they happened all the time, they wouldn't be miracles, then I choose to believe, and I choose with the force that I feel, the calm, the peace, the stories. I see a great deal of consistency. And then on top of that, it's watching, and for me, this is an empirical testament, is the communities, the societies that build their lives on that faith and live by those laws tend to be happier, more prosperous, more connected.
To clear up for those who are familiar with your piece on Unheard and hear your personal story, you do believe in those truth claims, in the resurrection of Jesus.
I totally choose to believe in the resurrection, yeah.
Yep. See, empirical evidence. It's like empirical evidence, guys. It's hard to, once you start listening to the people who've done their research and put their whole life into research, you can't argue with their ideas.
And also the story itself and what it tells us.
There's no way I could debate this lady and her ideas. She is so much smarter than I am.
A God who died for our sins so that we are forgiven, so that we can live. And I think it's extraordinary. It's such a beautiful and amazing story. I've got the chills talking about it.
If you would like.
Yeah, good job, dude. Good video right there, guy.
David, why don't you talk about the violence of Christianity, which does apostate?
He runs away from that debate. He knows the Bible can't be defended.
I debated that.
We are going to steal his body. Okay, I'm tracking with you. What's next?
This would be good.
We're going to tell the whole world that he rose from the dead.
Oh, you know I'm in.
I love it already.
All right, classic. Then what?
And then we're all going to get brutally murdered.
Wait. Come again. Could you go over that last part real quick?
So what? We get murdered. What's the problem?
I like it. I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pete. I love me a good hoax as much as the next guy, right? What's in it for us? Do we all get riches, fame, and fortune first, right?
No, get this. You're going to be hated, persecuted, and reviled for the rest of your life.
Subscribe. Yeah, so even psychologists are wondering about why these guys would do this.
Do you know that C.S. Lewis is one of the
for a fake religion?
Going to steal.
Do you know that C.S. Lewis is one of the most famous atheists to ever live that converted to Christianity? He was a world-renowned author and scholar, best known.
Hold on.
We are going to.
Do you know that C.S. Lewis is one of the most famous atheists to ever live that converted to Christianity? He was a world-renowned author and scholar, best known for the Chronicles of Narnia. Maybe you've read the book or seen the movies. He also wrote Mere Christianity. For much of his early life, he was an atheist shaped by personal loss and war. But after deep discussions with friends like J.R.R. Tolkien, he realized that atheism couldn't explain morality, reason, or the universe itself. He surrendered to God, calling himself the most dejected and reluctant convert in all of England. His works became some of the most influential Christian writings of all time, and he continues to inspire Christian apologetics today. I suggest reading Mere Christianity if you have the time.
That's a legendary story, guys.
Pretty much everyone in my generation was atheist, but we were a small group of Baptists in that area and coming from a dedicated family. Since elementary school, the others, they went out into the big break and started playing football and stuff. I would stand alone in the play yard and I had a routine praying. The thing there is now reflecting back, like I said, I did not pray to anyone except my creator. And there was like this deep connection. I needed that. I wanted that and I needed that. The next part of my way to Islam is actually that I became atheist, which is...
Yeah, I heard people do this one right here. They look for like a deeper connection and can't find it. I was like, how do you connect to something that can't be measured, touched? You know, you want like, yeah.
How did that happen? What happens is in that group of Baptists around the age of 14, and I went into these lessons, and they are focusing a lot on Jesus. Basically, their message is you don't pray to anyone except for Jesus, not your creator. And I started praying to Jesus, and this feeling vanished. It was just vanished into nothing. Really, I was dedicated, part of the group, and within maybe 2 weeks, it was gone, and I never visited them again. Pretty much everyone in my generation was...
Evolution causes a lot of problems for Christianity. If you think about a human over here, all the way over to a fish over here.
Something extraordinary happened to Alphonse.
All right, let's see what else we can find here.
I was atheist. Whenever I would talk to Christians, I was always very like...
That's kind of cool to see a young guy. Let's see what the young guy had to say.
Questioning their beliefs. I started dating Haley, and I would ask her questions like that, like very hard questions. She was like very gracious with me. I realized it all came from a place of like non-closure with my grandma. Like, I just really want to know. This basically culminated to this day, July 4th, 2020. This is when my YouTube channel was doing very well. I had almost 2 million subscribers.
Wow, bro, congratulations.
I was making more money than I ever dreamed of. I was giving it all I had, and I received everything I thought I wanted. We were watching the fireworks, and I started weeping. I started sobbing my eyes out. And I realized it's because I felt like I hadn't felt anything for like 3 weeks. Why do I feel empty? I started taking a lot less cynical approach towards asking questions, just starting to pray and starting to ask myself, like, what do I believe? And ultimately, I did land on Jesus. I literally would have absolutely clowned on myself 3 years ago.
Yeah, easy. I would have clowned on myself too, brother.
I ain't saying nothing.
Life without parole.
It was him.
You gotta give to this guy. That's good. That's good. Hold on.
I ain't saying nothing.
Life without parole.
It was him. That dude hiding behind that girl right there. I ain't saying.
Yeah, you're funny, bro.
I was atheist whenever
I'm going to start the show by telling you a story about a guy that goes to his rabbi and says, Rabbi, you never believe what happened to me. My son left the house and became a Christian. The rabbi said, shh. Never believe what happened to me. My son left the house too and became a Christian. So what do? We pray to God. They prayed to God, and God said, you never believe what happened to me.
Yeah, I get it.
I was slightly horrified to hear that Ramadan is being promoted instead. I do think that we are culturally a Christian country. I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer.
Damn, he's coping, right? That's coping. That's cope, bro. Oh, okay. All right. Whatever.
But there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. And so, you know, I love hymns and Christmas carols, and I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. I feel that we are a Christian country in that sense. It's true that statistically the number of people who actually believe in Christianity is going down, and I'm happy with that. But I would not be happy if, for example, we lost all our cathedrals and our beautiful parish churches. So I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it would matter if we...
That's interesting. He thinks it's important for the culture.
I've looked at every conspiracy theory, moon landing, 9/11, JFK, I mean, all kinds of conspiracies. The one I'd never looked at, and now, I'm 58, so I'm like, okay, let me look at this one, is God. I said, let me see about this God thing. I've never been a religious guy, so I start reading. And I got to tell you, Joe, as sure as I know that Building 7 didn't fall down out of sympathy for Building 1 and 2, God is real, Jesus existed, he was a badass outlaw, and it has changed my outlook on life. It has really changed the way I look at things.
Yeah, man. Like people are just so positive when they say they.
Oh my gosh, the book.
You know what I mean? Like you don't see anybody who's like, oh man, I changed, and they're just so native. They convert like I'm just so mad at myself. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool when people change. They're really cool. So.
Oh, I've looked at every conspiracy theory, moon.
Oh my gosh, the book of Revelation gets explained here.
Here's my simplest explanation of the book of Revelation.
Please do, bro, because I'm confused.
Especially the first 4 horses of the apocalypse. The question is, why these 4? Why these colors? There is information contained in the colors. God is not trying to confuse us, and he's not just throwing colors out there. There must be a rational justification for why he picked these 4. Take a look at your screen. What do you see? Here's the symbol, the national symbol of next door neighbor to Israel, Jordan. What colors do you see? Can you help me here? White, red, black, and green. And then if you go next door, inside the territory of Israel, there is the Palestinian, symbolized by that flag. What colors do you see on the national flag of Sudan? Let's go to Kuwait. Let's go to the United Arab Emirates. What colors do you see? All right, well, let's just go to Libya because it could just be coincidence here. Okay, let's go to Afghanistan. What do you see? Let's go to Syria. What do you see? Let's go to Iraq. What do you see? I wonder if God has successfully communicated something.
I don't see the connection.
Listen to this.
I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question.
You're allowed to ask whatever you want, bro. It's your podcast.
What the internet's going to think, but you know how you stand on the Lord Jesus Christ, right?
Yep.
What about Allah? Minister Farrakhan is standing on Islam the same way you standing on Christianity. There's somebody standing on Buddhism the same way. When they say Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, they say Allah. Is that just one person?
Good question, brother.
When Jesus was alive on the earth, he said a statement that to this day is very controversial. Jesus said, this is my disclaimer, bro.
Yeah.
Not Fillip Anthony Mitchell said. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No human being can come to God but through me. That Jesus said something that was very exclusive, that the only pathway to God was through him. Jesus also told us that there is only one God, who is Yahweh, and that there is no other God, and that any other God is an idol and is not a true God. Now, Jesus taught that, not Fillip Anthony Mitchell. So the whole issue about is Allah God and who's God is all depends on was Jesus telling the truth or was Jesus a liar. If Jesus is credible, then there is only one God, and the scripture gave us his name. He is Yahweh, Jehovah. If Jesus is credible, there is no other God but Yahweh. If Jesus is credible, there are no multiple pathways to God except through him. If Jesus is credible, then the pathway to God is small, narrow.
He's right.
And exclusive if Jesus is credible. If Jesus is not credible, then there are multiple gods. If Jesus is not credible, there are multiple pathways to God. If Jesus is not credible, then Allah and Yahweh the same person. If Jesus is not credible, the decision we got to make is Jesus credible? Now, if a man can be crucified and buried and put in a tomb and was supernaturally raised from the dead and seen alive in history by over 400 eyewitnesses, I think that man is pretty credible, because Muhammad was a great leader, but he did not resurrect from the dead. Joseph Smith was a great leader, but he was not raised from the dead. Confucius was a leader, but he didn't. All these men were leaders, but they were not raised from the dead. But there is a man in history who is the progenitor of a major world faith, who was raised from the dead and seen alive. So now we got to determine, was that man credible? I believe that that man was credible.
Yeah, that's how I feel the same way, brother. Thank you. Damn, that guy knows how to speak well.
Check this out.
How's Jesus a Muslim?
He prays like Muslim.
Okay, how did he pray?
I'm sure you guys don't prostrate when you pray.
Are you saying that prostrating makes you a Muslim?
Yes.
So Orthodox.
All right, let's go back to let's focus. All right. All right, interesting. My challenge atheist. I'm curious. What do you got to say, dude?
I'm an atheist. I don't believe in about
2,700 gods. Christians don't believe in 2,699. Yes. So they're nearly as atheistic as me.
Yes.
Some weird guy a few thousand years ago said so. It's ludicrous. I mean, it's laughable.
My challenge for atheists is this. When you're dealing with the topic of God's existence, Jesus' resurrection, the evidence for the Bible, that sort of thing, no sarcasm, no self-righteous posturing allowed. I think if you watch a debate between a Christian and an atheist, you will see that the vast majority of the stuff that comes off the atheist side is sarcasm and self-righteous posturing. And if you just take those two things away, that kind of mockery and scoffing, it has a very different effect on you. And you can maybe see clearly enough to at least weigh the evidence thoughtfully.
I believe Jesus created everything.
Everything,
Okay.
all the universe. Yes.
Then
The cross
what about
says
the sun?
the cross says the same thing.
No, wait, show me where it says.
So, like, for example,
show me where it says
I
the cross
got
that
you.
Jesus created.
I don't know if an atheist wants to be smug. Let him be smug. All right. Now there's people going to hell. Let's go over here. Shorts. I love exploring this, man. It's opening up my mind to some new stuff. I've already heard some of these stories before, but some of these stories I haven't heard, and some of them are reinforcing my ideas. But they're all new ideas, so yeah. Let's go with this one. 3 famous ones.
Did you know that 3 of the most famous atheists in history, brilliant minds who once denied God completely, changed their views? This is their story. Number 1, C.S. Lewis. He rejected God because of suffering and evil, but later realized that morality itself proves God's existence. He admitted a man does not call line crooked unless he has some idea of the straight line. His search for truth led him to Christianity, and he became one of its greatest defenders. Number 2, Anthony Flew, one of the most influential atheist philosophers of the 20th century. He believed science disproved God until DNA research proved otherwise. He finally admitted the integrated complexity of life in DNA convinced me that intelligence must have been involved. He abandoned atheism and accepted that a creator must exist. Even Sir Isaac Newton, one of the greatest scientists ever of all time, once focused on natural laws until he saw undeniable design in the universe. He famously said, in the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. Logic, science, and reason led these men away from atheism and straight to belief in God. If some of the world's greatest skeptics saw the truth, maybe it's time to ask, what does the evidence really say? That's it, everybody. God bless you.
God bless, brother.
Did you know that?
I like that one. I really do. And that right there, I think I'm going to end it there. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you, Austin, for sharing your clips, sharing your insight, and being humble. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody. I think this is a good way to start my live streams and my podcasting career. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Peace.